Right, some bad news on the development front. One of the parts failed quality control. We know how to fix it, but it'll take some extra resource. It's on hold for now, but you can order the extra work from the laptop at any time.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the F1 2017 career mode here for Season 2, Round 11. It is, of course, the Hungarian Grand Prix. Unfortunately, it is not a good start to the episode. The two upgrades that we had planned for this episode have not gone through, but the silver lining to this, cloud is we've got a sponsorship bonus of 750 resource points. So that means the upgrades that we were supposed to have planned can still go through for the next episode, because we can use this sponsorship bonus to pay for one of them, and the resource points that we get over the rest of this race weekend to spend on the other one. But as always, if you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also click the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens. You'll find the previous episode at the British Grand Prix, which was a good race, so you should definitely go check that out. And you'll also find the playlist for the whole entire series if you've missed all of the episodes so far. But at the moment, going through the practice programs, trying to get the best scores that we possibly can, somehow getting a purple score on our third time of asking, even though we failed that objective the previous two times. So I'm not too sure about that. But P17 at the end of this session, not the best of results, but because we were doing the practice programs, it doesn't really matter too much. But of course, we want to get as many resource points as we possibly can to try and get that second upgrade in the next race at the Belgium Grand Prix. End of practice 2, doing another test there, getting in P9 this time around, so that sets us up quite nicely for the qualifying session. Hopefully we can still qualify in a good position there. And now here we go, doing the race strategy test and also getting a purple score on that one. So a lot of resource points gained over this whole entire race weekend, and that means that we end this session in P18. Not the best of results at the end of the day, but hopefully we can do a better job in the actual qualifying session. So without any further ado, let's head over to the qualifying session for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon, race fans, and here we are again for qualifying at the Hungaroring. Who will have tuned the perfect setup for their car? We'll find out soon.
It's qualifying time here at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and unfortunately it is raining here today, so that means all of the practice that we've done in the last 3 sessions counts for absolutely nothing because it is raining in this session. So we're going to have to take a couple of laps to get used to the circuit, as our first lap of 1:35.0 is definitely not good enough. We're slower than even the Sauber of Pascal Wehrlein. So here we are, second lap, 1.4 seconds time improvement, puts us above the Williams of Lance Stroll, but there is still a lot of time to find. So we're coming through the final corner once again, 6 tenths up on our previous best lap time, coming across the line and setting a time that's good enough for P7, and that was enough to get us through into Q2. So very happy with that. Up in P8 as well, and going out of this session is Van Dorn, Grosjean, Stroll, Wehrlein and Ericsson. So not a good day for those drivers, but what can we do? Can we get into the top 10 shootout? That's the main question, as it has definitely dried up at the end of this session. We're going to have just about enough time to set 2 flying laps in this qualifying session. The first one just about good enough for P10, but now it's definitely not, as the other drivers have improved. We've dropped down into P15, going about 1 second quicker than our previous best lap time. Is it enough to get us through into the top 10 shootout at the end of the day? And no, it's not. Unfortunately, not good enough to get us out of Q2. It's a really disappointing qualifying session as well, to be way down the field in P14. Also going out in today's session, my teammate of Nico Hulkenberg, so not a good day for him either. And then we have Kevin Magnussen in 12th, Danny Q at 13th, and myself unfortunately down in 14th, with Fernando Alonso being the last of the runners in Q2. But what can we do from 14th on the grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix? Let's find out as we head over to the race.
Joining me to talk you through the action today is Anthony Davidson, and give us an idea of what kind of thing you're going to be looking out for today.
Well, the big question for me is whether or not we're going to see the cars able to follow each other closely enough to overtake, especially through the fast sections here. Of course, we've got DRS, and that will help on the straights, but it's still no good if you're coming off the previous corner too slowly or too far behind.
It's race day here at the Hungarian Grand Prix, but before we get into that, let's have a look at the starting order for today, and it is another 1-2 for the Ferrari team. Sebastian Vettel in first, with Kimi Räikkönen alongside him in second, and Valtteri Bottas lines up third, and this time around it is Max Verstappen in P4, Esteban Ocon in fifth, with Sergio Perez in sixth, Massa in seventh, and Carlos Sainz in eighth. Lewis Hamilton drops down to P9 with Nico Hülkenberg in 10th, then Daniel Ricciardo starts P11, Kevin Magnussen 12th, Danny Kvyat 13th, myself lining up in P14, then the two McLarens, Fernando Alonso in 15th, Stoffel Van Dorn in 16th, Grosjean 17th, Stroll in 18th, with Pascal Wehrlein 19th, and Marcus Ericsson right at the back of the grid for today's race. But let's have a look at the strategy for today's Hungarian Grand Prix, starting on the soft tyres and then pitting for a set of super softs around lap 20 in this race. So going for the one-stop strategy, and hopefully this is the way to get into the point for today's race. But without any further ado, let's head over to the starting grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix and get today's race underway. So we have the two Ferraris lining up on the front row. We got the 5 red lights here at the Hungaroring, and it is lights out, and away we go. And it's a good start compared to Danny Kvyat on the left-hand side, an even better start of the second phase there than Danny Kvyat, but he comes back at us with those much grippier super soft tyres. We go up the inside of Nico Hülkenberg down in towards turn 1. We have another driver on the outside, which is Daniel Ricciardo, which we've got the job done there on the Red Bull driver. So a good start from ourselves to overtake Daniel Ricciardo with a start very late on the brakes down in towards turn 2, but still keeping it cautious up the inside of my teammate Nico Hülkenberg. Once again, the two of us going wheel to wheel in today's race. Is now right on the back of my teammate. What can we do into this fast left-hander? Thinking better of it. We had a little chance to go round the outside into that corner, but there's just really no point in going round the outside through that corner, especially on lap 1 and especially against my teammate. Number 1 rule in Formula 1, do not hit your teammate, and that's something that we definitely do not want to do here today, as we're now coming under pressure from Daniel Ricciardo in that Red Bull. So what can he do in today's race as we go round the final corner? And Kimi Räikkönen has had an engine blowout. The winner of the previous 2 races is out here today. Really disappointing from the Ferrari man, as we're now getting under pressure from Daniel Ricciardo. The yellow flags are out, so I don't know why he is going for that overtake. Maybe it's green at the moment, now it's yellow. So Daniel Ricciardo actually getting the overtake just before the yellow flags were actually out for ourselves. Now Sergio Perez has an engine failure as well. What on earth is going on in today's race? Kimi Räikkönen's engine's gone. Sergio Perez, his engine's gone now. Wow, that's incredible. And there's been another one. 3 engine blowouts in the space of about 20 seconds in this Hungarian Grand Prix. What on earth is going on? We've had Sainz, we've had Perez, we've had Kimi Räikkönen all out of today's race. And because of those, we have somehow been put up into the points. We're in 10th position at the moment, despite losing out to Daniel Ricciardo there. Somehow we've come out of that and we're in P10. Do not know what has happened, but I'm not going to argue with it. I want to be in the points here today, and I will definitely take the luck if it comes to me. But really unfortunate there for Kimi Räikkönen. He was putting in a real good job of trying to catch up to Sebastian Vettel in the championship, but that is going to end here today. He's going to have to pick up his momentum after the summer break and in the Belgian Grand Prix. We'll now go up the inside on Kevin Magnussen in towards the final corner. He ran it a little bit wide through there. We've taken that opportunity. We've had a little look up the inside, but can't quite get the job done. He is much quicker on those super soft tyres, so it's going to take a late braking manoeuvre down in towards turn 1 to try and get the overtake done. And here we go up the inside of Kevin Magnussen, but once again he still holds it around the outside. But there we go, getting the job done finally and moving up into P9. So that's 2 points on board for ourselves in today's race. Very happy with that at the moment. Now we'll be looking to see whether we can catch up to the guys ahead of us, as it looks like Daniel Ricciardo may have come into the pits, as it looks like the Williams of Felipe Massa is doing so as well. So he's pitting from 6th position. That leaves myself and Nico Hülkenberg still out on tracks. There's a couple of drivers exiting the pit lane now. We're definitely going to get one of them. Can we get the Ferrari man of Sebastian Vettel as well? Don't think we can, but Nico Hülkenberg just about slips in front of Sebastian Vettel. So currently running in P6 for this Hungarian Grand Prix in a really good position at the moment, especially as we are on the one-stop strategies. Nico Hülkenberg finally comes into the pit lane here on lap 10, taking those super soft tyres quite a distance. So they're very, very nice there from Nico Hülkenberg to take those super soft tyres 10 laps in today's race. Although if we stick with this strategy, we're going to take our ones for a total of 15 laps. So we're going to take him a little bit longer in today's race. But now coming under pressure from not Kimi Räikkönen, he's out of the race, from Lewis Hamilton here today. And he's going to go up the inside into the final corner. And because we're on a different strategy, we're not going to fight him at all. Lewis Hamilton, well, that's why we ran wide. We gave him the room on the inside line and just gave him that position because there was literally no point in fighting Lewis Hamilton. And if we want to get a good points finish here today, we've just pretty much got to just allow those drivers through and stay in our own race because there's no point battling with the leaders here today as we're coming under pressure. I think this is Max Verstappen and not actually Daniel Ricciardo. Yes, it is Max Verstappen, who qualified a lot higher than us. He started today's race in P4, so he is another one of those race leaders who's on a different strategy to ourselves, and we're not going to fight him at all. He's going to go on the right-hand side, down in towards turn 1. We're going to pick up a little bit toe to try and make ourselves faster down in towards the first corner, but not really fighting him too much. There was no point in trying to re-overtake the Red Bull driver because he is going to shoot off into the distance. But you can just about see in the background there Daniel Ricciardo. We are actually battling with the Red Bull driver, so I would like to finish today's race ahead of him as we're now cutting ahead to lap 21 in today's race. So quite a bit of a distance on these soft tyres, but nevertheless coming into the pits on this lap, and so does Esteban Ocon behind us. So the battle between myself and Esteban Ocon is definitely going to continue here today as we come into the pit lane, stopping for the line, and the pit timer starts now. So who is going to have the better pit stop, Renault or Force India? The time to answer that question is right now, and hopefully it will be ourselves. Hopefully we can get the job done, and the Renault crew are going to be nice and quick here today. The tyres are fitted on 2.2 seconds, a really quick pit stop. They are there when we need them. We need them today, and they got the job done. A 2.2 second stop, and I'm very, very happy with that, as it looks like we've got a nice little gap there to Esteban Ocon. We're actually coming out of the pit lane just ahead of the Haas driver. I believe that is Roman Grosjean behind us. So he is in between myself and Esteban Ocon. So that's really going to help me in today's race. We've come out in P11 just outside the points on some fresh, super soft tyres. So we can push these tyres now to try and overtake the two guys ahead of us, which is, I believe, Lance Stroll and Kevin Magnussen. So hopefully we can get the job done in the next couple of corners. We're having a little look around the outside through this next one here, but can't quite get the job done on the Haas. Will we try it up the inside through the chicane once again? No point trying up the inside of there. If we make a mistake, that will pretty much be race over for us. We know we're quick. We know we're on the better strategy at the moment to go for the overtake in the next couple of laps. So if we just get the job done down the start-finish straight, then maybe we can move up a position. As we have a little look at the inside now in towards his right-hander. Stroll looks up as well. And is that a double overtake? Yes, it is. What a fantastic double overtake that was up the inside of Lance Stroll and Kevin Magnussen. I was expecting myself to go for the overtake into the start-finish straight, but nevertheless, I've got the job done, and I've moved up into P8, now getting the overtake done on Felipe Massa, who comes into the pits for his second pit stop here on lap 23. So moving up now into P7, and now trying to catch up to Danny Kvyat, who's currently running in P6, and I'm right on the tail here on lap 25. So can we get the overtake done on the Toro Rosso driver? Nice exit, although loose on the back end a little bit right at the end. Now putting it up into Rich Mix, using DRS and using the toe all the way down in towards turn 1. Can we get the job done on Danny Kvyat? Here we go, up the inside on the Toro Rosso driver, squeezing him out on the exit, and there we go, overtake done on Danny Kvyat as we cut it now to lap 27 for today's race. We've got Esteban Ocon right on our tail, and so is Danny Kvyat. So Danny Kvyat not giving up on this position at the moment in today's race. Under pressure from Esteban Ocon, but still holding on to P6 at the moment. We take the defensive line, the inside line, down in towards turn 1, and that was really nice cutting off Esteban Ocon there, but he might try once again using DRS all the way down in towards turn 2, which he does on the right-hand side. He's going to go round the outside through turn 2, and that's the only way he can get past me. But once again, shutting the door on the Force India driver, but a really nice exit, a really nice purchase out of turn 3. Gives him the opportunity up in towards turn 4. It's side by side between the two of us, but nevertheless getting the job done and still holding on to that position. A really, really nice battle developing between myself and Esteban Ocon, especially right at the end of this race. But we are determined to hold on to this P6, especially as we want to beat the Force India driver of Esteban Ocon as well. As watching on board with Kevin Magnussen. The yellow flag has come out. So is there a mechanical failure there for the Haas driver? Yes, there is a mechanical failure on the Haas driver. That's our 4th driver here today who has had a DNF. So not a good race for Kevin Magnussen, who's unfortunately out of today's race. I don't think he was in the points anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much to him. As we're watching on board now with Danny Kvyat, who's looking to go for the attack down the start-finish straight. Only a handful of laps left to go here today, and it was now Danny Kvyat going on the right-hand side. We've got Esteban Ocon on the left. It's free wide down in towards turn 1 momentarily there, but much better on the brakes compared to those two drivers. Sort of snuffs them out and gets that position as Esteban Ocon once again tries it round the outside of turn 2. Can we hold on to this position? Yes, we can. Once again, shutting the door on our rivals. It looks like Kvyat and Ocon went side by side through those corners there. But now, this is the man. Sebastian Vettel comes around the final corner to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. The championship leader regains his title, and he is running away with this championship at the moment. He is a mile ahead of all the other drivers, and what a fantastic performance he has put in here today. A massive gap to the other drivers. The guy in second is still yet to come across the line. There he is finally, Valtteri Bottas, with Lewis Hamilton right on his tail to round out the podiums. Max Verstappen finishes in P4 here today, but what a result there for Sebastian Vettel to win this Hungarian Grand Prix. But who is going to finish in P6? I'm currently holding off Esteban Ocon, Danny Kvyat and Felipe Massa for this position as Daniel Ricciardo now crosses the line for P5. Only a couple of corners left to go of today's race, and there are still opportunities for Esteban Ocon to get past us, especially down this straight and maybe into the next corner, but Esteban Ocon just not quick enough or late enough on the brakes to go for the overtake through there. Penultimate corner now. Do not make a mistake. Do not run it out wide. Hug the apex all the way through the corner. One more corner left to go of this Hungarian Grand Prix. It's been P14 from the start to come back for a fantastic 6th position at the Hungarian Grand Prix. What an incredible result here today. A great result for myself at the Hungarian Grand Prix, starting in P14 but finishing today's race in P6. Sebastian Vettel is the race winner though here today. A great result for the German with Valtteri Bottas in second and Lewis Hamilton rounding out the podium. Max Verstappen, he finishes in P4 with the other Red Bull, Daniel Ricciardo, just behind him in P5. Unfortunately, the Red Bulls getting the better of us here today. Then it is, of course, myself finishing in P6, just about holding off Esteban Ocon in 7th, Danny Kvyat in 8th, and Felipe Massa in 9th. And finally, we have got a double points finish for the Renault team. Nico Hülkenberg finishing and rounding out the top 10 here today. And the final driver to be lapped by Sebastian Vettel, just showing how dominant the Ferrari driver was here today. But missing out on the points was Roman Grosjean just about, with Lance Stroll in 12th and Fernando Alonso down in 13th. And looking further down the field, we have Pascal Wehrlein P14, Stoffel van Dorn 15th, and Marcus Ericsson in 16th. And we had 4 drivers here today having DNFs, with that spectacular 3 drivers going out on lap 3, with all having engine failures in the space of 20 seconds. So I'm not too sure whether someone pressed the button to blow up all of their cars, but that was pretty spectacular seeing all of that happen in one single lap. We had Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez and Kimi Raikkonen all else having a DNF here today. Then Drivers' Championship after 11 rounds of Season 2. We're currently in P6 at the moment, closing up a little bit. Actually, no, we actually lost a little bit of ground, sorry, to Daniel Ricciardo here today. The gap between the two of us being extended by 2 points. So the gap is now 8 points in the championship between the two of us, as Valtteri Bottas overtakes Kimi Raikkonen after that DNF here today. But Kimi Raikkonen is in a Ferrari. We know the Ferraris are quick on this game at the moment, so he can certainly come back into the championship fold. But 64-point lead over Lewis Hamilton, that is what Sebastian Vettel has right now. Let's have a look though at the constructors standings before we round out today's episode. And Renault currently still in P4, 126 points on board, but the gap between ourselves and Red Bull Racing is now whopping 55 points. So big old gap there between ourselves and Red Bull Racing, something which we'll be looking to try and close up over the next couple of races, or at least by the end of the season. We've still got 9 races left to go, and we really need to start to pile on the pressure. But we have got some upgrades coming next time around the Belgian Grand Prix, so hopefully that will be enough to catch up to that team. But that's it for today's race. If you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash a like on it. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for daily Formula 1 content. We've got Rags to Riches free, F1 2017 career mode, and also a whole load of other Formula 1 content coming to this channel very, very soon. As always, don't forget to leave your comments in the section below. I reply to about 98% of comments, so if you do leave a comment, there is a high chance that I will be replying to them. But I will see you next time for the Belgian Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.